What up, fam? Welcome to You Should Know This. To probably be a social media influencer, I am required to post a video from inside the car. And to show you how real and no cap I am, this is my left ear. I am in the driver's seat. So, the other people posting videos that shows them backwards looks like they're in the passenger seat, that's all cap. But I'm keeping it 100 because I got the Rizzy Riz. I might even have the Skibbity Riz. You be the reason I'm posting from the car is I want you to see how to use your dashboard. Now, you probably can't see it super clearly, but you'll still be able to figure out what's going on from what's going on, okay? Now, you see I got the engine turned off, and all of my gauges are just sitting there. Those are called gauges. They gauge where you are and what's going on around you. They're called gauges. And all those needles are about to jump up, and you're going to see a bunch of icons show up. And I start the car. See all them icons show up? That shows you they're working. And the gauges went whee! That shows you they're working. If you start the car and those things aren't going, that means that gauge isn't working. Now, I'm just going to go left to right to teach you what's going on. The big dial on the left, it's currently pointing at the 2. That is your tachometer. That tells you how fast the engine is turning over and in thousands of RPMs. So it is currently doing 1,800 RPMs. That's why you got to watch your oil. Okay? Below that is my temperature gauge. Since I just started it and it's about 47 here in Ohio, it is showing at cold. The other one means hot. Okay? As you drive, and next to it is that's your temperature icon next to it. That tells you it's the temperature. Now, as you're driving throughout life, you want to watch that gauge a little bit and see where it normally rests when your engine is warm. If it's like dead in the middle, you're good. If you see it jump up, you need to pull over, check out what's going on. Okay? Now, you can see that I don't have my seatbelt on. Under the 1,000 R per minute thing is a little guy with a seatbelt. That means I don't have my seatbelt on and I'm playing with my life, okay? Just above the tachometer, you will see a blue light. That icon looks like a light bulb, your headlight, and it's blue. That means I have the bright lights turned on. So I'll pull back on my little thing right there. That's called the turn signal stalk, and that turns off my bright lights. Okay, down at the bottom, that's your mileage. That's how many miles are on the car. Now, to the right is the thing I like to call a speedometer. That tells you how fast your car is currently going. If you put down the Instagram while you're driving and look at your speedometer, you can see how fast you're going. Outside of your windshield, you will see these big white signs that say speed limit and a 2-digit number. That number should match what your needle is pointing at here on your speedometer. Since I am proper and in America, mine is in miles per hour. You see those little numbers down there, that's for kilometers per hour in case I get lost and end up in Canada, okay? That's not going to happen. I have a GPS and a basic sense of direction. Now, you want to keep your miles per hour near the miles per hour on the speed limit sign. That is a safe number in dry conditions. It's a safe number in wet conditions too. Now, you see the icon that's showing that says park really bright? That means I have my parking brake on because my driveway is a bit of a hill, so I put my parking brake on. If you're parking on some place that is flat, you don't need your parking brake on. If you're parking on a hill, put on your parking brake. It saves your transmission. That is an expensive repair. Now, underneath the speedometer is your gas gauge. Here in America, we call it gas. Some people call it petrol. This is gas. It's in America. You can see I'm right at half a tank. You need to look at that every time you start the car. I'm telling myself this because I started the car the other day and started driving to work, and I didn't have very much gas in there. But I did not panic. I pulled up to the gas pump. Which gas pump do I pull up to? Now, you see that big F on my gas gauge where it says full? There's a little icon on there that looks like a gas pump. That's the gas pump icon. If I get down into the empties, a icon just like that will light up in yellow. Okay? But That little icon, the gas pump, has an arrow next to it pointing at the F. That arrow is not to point at the F. That arrow points at the side your gas filler door is on. Now, if you're in a rental car, if you're not sure, if you're scared, the arrow points to which side you pull up to the pumps on. Okay? Now, the other icons that light up when you start your car, if one of those comes on, you might be in a little bit of trouble. If it comes on in yellow or orange, you need to call somebody when you get to where you're going. Okay? That's a warning light. It makes you nervous. Your owner's manual will tell you what that light means. Okay? But you need to call somebody when you get where you're going. If one of those comes on in bright red, you need to pull over as soon as possible and shut the engine off. Okay? That could be a zero oil situation, and you're going to do permanent damage. Okay? Sometimes, as your car gets older, if you're running a 10-year-old car, those lights will come on and stay on sometimes. But if it's yellow, call somebody when you get to work. If it's red, pull over as soon as possible. Okay? I hope this helps you. So, do the speed limit, watch your fuel gauge, and watch your other gauges to make sure you don't break your car. That's an expensive repair. The red light means an expensive repair is getting closer every mile. Okay? So like, share, and subscribe, and keep on keeping on. I don't, what are the words the kids are using these days? No cap, keep it 100, Rizzy Riz, skibbity, brr. Okay. You have a good weekend.